television show. On tonight's program, whether we're ready or not, our guest will be Kate Genovese, political consultant Michael Goldman, musical guest, as well as other surprises. And now, please welcome a man who's waiting to ride his first wave of the summer of 2019, our host, Ron Todd.
Let's get this thing on the road. Hey, all right, let's get rid of the music. There we go. Good evening and welcome to the show. My name is Ron Cox, your host and producer of Live on Tape. I know what you're thinking. Really, it's 2019. This show still records a videotape? Well, I can assure you that we are using the best technology available to record this show. The only problem is we thought of another name, but we thought of naming it Live on Card. Did not sound that good, so no ring to it. So anyway, we didn't do that. Come on, audience, come alive. Where are you? All right. Anyway, starting this month, I got to tell you, we're very excited to announce that Live on Tape is streaming live on YouTube. That's right. You can see us on YouTube. All you have to do is subscribe. Go to YouTube. Subscribe by doing. It's my cue card guy. These are signals, everybody. They go to Multi Access MATV. It's free, it's easy, and just go ahead and do it, and you can see us streaming live every month. Of course, the only problem with live streaming is streaming it worldwide. We get all kinds of tweets from people. In fact, I just got this one from Des Moines, Iowa. Just came in. Guillermo just gave me this. It says, it's a tweet from Bob Nelson. Hello, Live on Tape. What's the deal with calling your show live? I've seen livelier shows at the Iowa State Fair. Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. But listen, I got to tell you, Bob, I'm sure eating corn dogs and drinking lots of beer and losing at the arcade has its moments. But I got to tell you, here at Live on Tape, we're live, where anything can happen. And let's hope our show gets through without making any mistakes for 1 hour, okay? That's the exciting part. Thank you for watching. All right, last April was Earth Day. How many people had a good time Earth Day? No? Anybody? Nobody? No? Yeah? Well, it was the 49th Earth Day, which means next year will be the 50th. And I remember the first one very well. It was 1970. I was going to Mass Art, and we celebrated by I planted a tree right next to the parking lot. Of course, 49 years later, Beth Israel bought Mass Art. It's been paved over, and the tree's gone. All right, what are you going to do? But it's the idea of Earth Day. You know, it's that one time a year where we kind of reflect on what man is doing to the planet. Kind of stop this climate change that's happening. And I know I'm doing my part. I've been recycling these jokes for years. Thank you very much, yes. All right. And listen, I just got an Apple Watch. Unbelievable. This thing is incredible. It takes texts. I get phone calls. I get messages. It tells me when to breathe, how much I've been walking. And guess what? It even tells time. Pretty good. Anyway, I'll tell you what happened last week ago. I fell. And it was okay because you people know me. You know I know how to fall. I rolled. I didn't get hurt. But my phone just started ringing, buzzing, and it says, I noticed you've just taken a bad fall. Should I get help? And I go, no, I'm okay. I didn't know how to turn it off. It's like unbelievable. So this is a little too much technology for me. But anyway, welcome to the show. We got a great show for you. Let's hear for our cue card guy, Micho. Unbelievable. First time doing it. You did a great job. It's almost got the signal down. But anyway, I want to thank you for tuning in. We had a great show. Because I say that every time, but this one is great. We've got this author who wrote this incredible book about addiction and loss of someone very close to her son. So we're going to talk about that. Her name is Kate Genovese. How you say it? All right, Kate's here for Kate. She's in the house tonight. And actually, we're still waiting for the rapper, so we're going to have a guest musician on tape tonight, unless he shows up, but I doubt it. But our third guest is unbelievable. He's been on the show a few times, and this is quite a political year coming up, both locally and nationally. Ladies and gentlemen, please, coming on the show tonight, political analyst and writer for the Lowell Sun, Michael Goldman, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. So, like I say, great show. Don't turn us away. Stay with us, and we'll be right back after this very short message. Thanks. Whoa. 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 Just watch the move. Whoa. Thank you very much. Yay! Thank you very much. All right, we're back. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you can clap, you can laugh, you can groan. It's a wonderful thing. And as I wanted to mention, we're always looking for live audience. So if you usually we record on the third Monday of the month. This month, we kind of missed May, so we kind of did this show tonight on June 3rd. So if you're watching us live, it's June 3rd. If it's June 4th, you're not watching us live. Anyway, welcome to the show. My first guest, we're going to start off with one of my favorite guys. Not only he's this incredible political consultant and makes a lot of good money for these candidates. He's been my friend since 1960. So we'll just say that. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Goldman. Mike, how you doing?
No problem.
Thanks for coming.
Pleasure.
Did you get your mic on? You got your mic on?
I do.
How's the audio? Okay? All right.
There we go.
So, Michael, thanks for coming on the show.
It's always a pleasure to see you.
I love having you because you're you bleed blood, political. You're all political. I love it. So, it's a political year, and both locally and nationally.
Correct.
So let's start off locally because I know you're not living in Malden anymore, but you do know Gary's got a competitor.
Yes, I do.
So let's talk about that. First time in, I think, 9 years.
Well, you know, it's not a surprise. Generally, mayors have their first big race at the end of their second term. So this is sort of right on schedule.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know the person running against Gary, but generically what we always say is there has to be a strong rationale for candidacy.
Yeah.
And it's incumbent on the insurgent, that's a little play on words, it's incumbent on the insurgent to make the case. Gary has the easier task. He only has to say why he ought to be reelected.
That's right.
The insurgent has to say why he shouldn't be and why he should be. So it's always tougher for them.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
And well, his name is John Matheson. He's the Ward City Council of Ward 3. And he's been on the show, and he's got a lot of ideas, but it's, you know, obviously he's opposed to the mayor on some issues. One being the bags, the blue bags. I don't know if you're up to date on that. And of course, he's making an issue of the water pipes and a few other things he's talking about. But it's going to be, I think it's good for the community to have a
Absolutely.
a race.
There's nothing like a contest, you know, and it's very funny. As you know, I represent, one of my clients is Mayor Flynn of Boston, and the good news for him the last time is he didn't really have a tough race.
Right.
The bad news for him is because he didn't have a tough race, he didn't spend a lot of money, and he never made his case. He didn't have to. He essentially was able to run without doing that. And that cheats you out of the opportunity to say, this is why I ought to be reelected. And I said to Gary when I saw him, I was actually very proud to have attended the unveiling of a memorial for a member of my class.
Oh, okay.
They just did a small ceremony, so I saw Gary there on Memorial Day. Very, very nicely done. And I said to him, you know, you get a chance to explain to people why you've done the job and why you deserve 4 more years. Nothing wrong with that.
Well, he's certainly an engaged mayor, no doubt about it. He's out there walking
everywhere,
around everywhere.
everywhere. That's
I
all I
he's
ever
been
hear.
on more shows at MTV than any other person.
You know, well, you know, again, Gary's always, you know, I knew him before he was mayor. We both did work. One of my other clients was Jim DePaula, and he worked for Jim.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, yeah, Jim.
And,
In fact, that's right. He
and
worked
so
for him
right.
as a job.
And so I knew him when he was working for the sheriff, and he loves the city, loves the job, and we'll see. Again, that's what
Well,
makes
it's something
America
he's wanted
interesting.
since elementary school, and you know, not everyone gets to get their dream, and he's got it, and he's doing a good job, I must say. Okay, that's the local thing. We got a council large race, and that's always a tough thing, because it's really 4 people running for 3 seats. and you never know who's going to get the most votes, and that's really what happens.
Well, geography is the single biggest determinant on victory. The person who comes from the largest area, the perception of the largest area. And, obviously, gender and ethnicity and age and experience and, it doesn't hurt the city to have a competitive race where people can say, by the way, this is what makes me different.
Exactly.
And I'm a lot of people. Certainly the candidates don't like it, but I don't make money unless they have races.
Exactly.
So.
Well, Giavellone is the new guy in the race. He tried to, in Ward 6, well, it was open seat, so he and Dave Kamel went at it, and Dave obviously won. But what was interesting about that race is when the primary came out, it was very close, and David kind of lost the primary, but he's still in it because I guess that it was still
two people.
The last two, the third, I forget who it was, but so he campaigned harder, and obviously it helped him win.
Primary is just the primary.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyone who thinks that if you win the primary, you win the race.
That was proven to be not true. Exactly.
Sitting at home.
It takes a lot of work, and as a political consultant, how much do you nowadays think that door-to-door thing is important?
In a city like Malden, people want to see a candidate. They want to touch him and feel him and know that there are three things. As you know, I've done 7 presidential races and innumerable Senate and congressional races, all the way down to my first race, which was for Malden School Committee back in 1966.
Who was the candidate?
Ken Desmond.
Ken Desmond, that's right. Oh, my goodness.
Recently passed.
Great family, that Desmond.
Fabulous. His son is my godson, and he's now the appeals court judge.
That's right, Judge.
And he is, it's an
He
extraordinary.
was at the Black Women's Association award ceremony.
Right. I was
Great
honored
stuff.
there one year. It was a very, very nice ceremony. But there are 3 things every race is about. Does the candidate understand the problems of people like me?
Yeah.
Does the candidate care? You can understand and not care. You can care and not get it. And then mostly, what can the candidate do for me? Not me as the individual, my city, my community, my family, the things I care about. You answer those questions.
That,
and I say to my clients all the time, every day you go out there, that's your job. Your job is to answer those 3 questions, and the people who do it best often win.
Well, let's talk about engagement of the community, and I think the other important factor is people getting out to vote, and it's less and less happening.
Well, it's been a long time. The vote totals have gone down in part because there are 2 reasons why people don't vote. Number one, they're happy. And one of the most frustrating things for incumbents is, in some ways, when people don't show up, they're not mad at them, and so they're not showing up, instead of saying, I'm not happy, so we're going to give you a vote. And that's very frustrating for all political people. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is again, a sense that people have that it doesn't matter. And that's the thing that drives people like me crazy, because every decision you don't make ends up costing you. You can't go back and complain about not getting what you wanted, or the person didn't hear you, if you're sitting at home on your hands. And we find far too often that when things are over, people either haven't paid attention or they don't realize that there are these giant fundamental differences between candidates. And it's only after they get in they say, I don't want that guy.
I know it, and then it's too late.
It's too late.
Well, we're going to talk about national in a little bit, but the other thing in terms of locally, Malden has become a very diverse city. And I think one of the challenges is how do you get the variety of cultures to get engaged, participate, and show up to vote? Well,
Malden's always been a diverse city, just different.
Yeah.
When you and I were in school in the 50s and 60s, the differences were in cultural groups, Irish, Italian, Polish,
different section of Malden.
Lithuanians, Jews, Black. Every section had their own sort of footprint. And one of the things that I discovered when I was getting I'm lucky to have a couple of masters. One of my masters was on something I call Malden, the microcosm of American democracy, in which I try to make the case that Malden was different than Boston. Boston had Chinatown and the South Boston, South End and North End. And I always thought Malden didn't. When you looked at Malden, same thing here. Ethnicities lived together. Where we came together was the high school.
Yes.
And so when you left the high school, you said, well, I went to school with everybody, when in fact, the neighborhoods were separated. Now you've got a very different dynamic in the city. The demographic of upper, lower middle still drives this population. But the people who fill those roles are, in many cases, Asian. And
Haitian.
different, and Haitians,
Got a Haitian
and Dominican, and again, this city has always been a great city to bring up your family, and having the train makes all the difference. To be able to go from Malden to Boston in 8 minutes, my God. And we don't realize here in the city how different it is to come from a place that doesn't have a train.
I know.
And
it's a great connector to the city, and I think it's kind of helped with the commerce of a lot of the Asians who work in Chinatown. Come to Malden, live here now.
And it's not just the expansion. Some of the schools are thinking about coming up here. Northeastern and other places are thinking of moving out here.
Well,
that's one of the things that Mayor Christensen has really emphasized, is how do you get people to know that this is a good community to be in, because there's work here, but there's work in town, and you can get to it easily, get back and forth, and not have the problem of parking your car.
Well, because that's the other thing. People now thinking, how many apartment buildings can we make in the city? That becomes another issue. So it's interesting to see where that goes. But
well, again, the issue on apartments are if you have apartments, are the apartments for individuals, single people, or two individuals who are single, or their families? And when they're families, that means school. And when the school is water and sewer, and when there's water and sewer, so there's a
becomes taxing depending on how it is.
Of course, and then police and fire needs, and so these things are not. If it was easy, then anyone could do it.
Yeah, well, that's another fact. Well, let's talk about the presidential race.
Sure.
Here it is. I can't believe it. It seems like only yesterday we were crying about the.
Well, I was out in Iowa. I've been out in Iowa twice, and been up to New Hampshire. I was in South Carolina, so I've seen some of these players. It's an interesting group. I don't have a client, thank God, this cycle, but it is an interesting group.
Now, a lot of people might not know it, because the people who don't might know it. One of the first campaigns you worked on was Michael Dukakis.
Well, it was a presidential. Actually, my first.
As a meant for presidential.
Actually, I did McGovern in '72. Well, I actually did a small, tiny piece of Bobby Kennedy as a volunteer.
Really, yeah.
68,
72.
In '72 McGovern. '76 the great Mo Udall.
Oh.
The only politician I would let my daughters marry.
That's so funny.
Nobody
he kind of reminded
remembers
me of
him.
Lincoln, the way he looked. He was such a big, tall guy.
Fabulous guy. Really, he was a really terrific guy. In 1980, Teddy Kennedy.
Yeah.
In '84, Mondale. '88 was my fifth one, and that was Michael. And I was senior consultant to that race.
Here's why I bring it up, because during the great blizzard of '78, people say, where'd that sweater come from? Well, it was your sweater.
Yes, it was. That was when I was working for the administration, from '75 to '78 when he was governor.
Yeah,
and then, of course,
I think you were on the MDC then.
I was the number 3 person at the MDC. No longer exists.
I know.
Revere Beach is still there, but no MDC.
That's right. Oh my gosh. Well, listen, I get some names.
Yep.
People who are running. Now, there's 23 people running, I think.
Yes, there are. Yeah.
And we don't have time to go through all 23.
Thank Lord.
But I'm gonna say their name.
Yep.
And I'm gonna give the first word that comes to your mind. Okay. Just so
Okay.
you get a sense. Okay. All right. Now, all these people are running, ladies and gentlemen, for the Democratic nomination. Bill de Blasio.
The mayor of New York. I would say tall.
As opposed to the other mayor
who was short.
Kristen Gillibrand. Is that how you say it, Gillibrand?
Yeah. Hopeless.
And the senator of New York, the junior senator, Amy Klobuchar.
Klobuchar. Wrong race.
Yeah. Okay.
Wrong race.
Now here's one I think it's important because we're here in Malden. Andrew Yang.
Andrew Yang. Unknown.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Unless you're familiar with Venture from America.
Yes, but unfortunately, most people don't have a clue.
They don't. All right, now this is an interesting race, and still trying to figure out why you even got in it. Seth Moulton.
Also hopeless.
I know. All right, Julian Castro.
Julian Castro, interesting.
Yeah, interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah,
He
okay.
could be on the short list for VP.
Okay.
He
Was
will
he
not
worked for
be
the
president.
He worked for the Obama
He
administration.
did, and his brother is a
Secretary of HUD.
congressman, and he's from Texas.
Yeah,
and
because he's
unfortunately,
a twin brother, right?
he has an identical twin brother, and unfortunately for him, it's been a very tough race with all the candidates to break
it
through.
is.
But again, that's the kind of guy that you, if I had to choose one of three people that could possibly be vice president,
Help the ticket too.
absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Kamala Harris.
Worth watching.
Really?
Worth watching. She, again, is another one who could be a VP easily, comes from the big state of California. All my career, California has always been June. That's when Bobby Kennedy was killed, obviously. But it's early this year, same day as Massachusetts.
Oh, yes, it is.
And if she does well there and in South Carolina, watch her in South Carolina,
right.
she can make the big jump in South
Let's see what
Carolina.
happens. Michael Bennett, now he's up for
Michael
Colorado.
Bennett, right? And Michael Bennett, whose brother is actually the editorial page editor of the New York Times. I know him.
Oh, okay.
And also hopeless.
All right, from New Jersey, Cory Booker.
Wrong race.
Really?
Wrong
Okay,
race.
all right. Well, here's a fellow that I think a lot of people had some interest in the beginning. Beto O'Rourke.
Forgotten.
Yeah, I know. I think he should have stayed off those tables. don't
Damn
you think?
right. Damn right.
And his hands, still, tie him behind his back or something. All right, that moves to the mayor of South Bend, Indiana.
Let's see if you can do it.
Buttigieg.
Good. Very
Did I get it?
good. Yeah,
Buttigieg?
absolutely.
Not
People-
easy, folks.
Yeah.
I did my homework.
2024.
Okay, yeah, okay.
2024.
So he's probably going to be one of the speakers at the convention. That's
Yes, he
usually what
will.
happens.
That's what happens.
That's what happens. He is. I tell you, he's a witty guy. I
He's
love him just
one
being
of
in the race.
I'm telling you, he's been a godsend for those of us
Yep.
who care about this stuff because he's really smart.
He really is.
He's really smart, and he's very decent, and
And he seems
he
calm
could
about
be.
the whole thing.
And he's got. You and I will both, unfortunately, be resting
Yeah,
in
I
our
know.
permanent
I
homes.
know.
But he may very well someday be president of the United States.
Well,
Just not this cycle.
I think he's got
Hey,
got that thing. He
Let
just
me
has
tell
it.
you something. If you remember our friend Joe Biden,
Yeah.
started in 1988 with
Yeah.
Michael Dukakis. He's still running.
Still running.
So Pete's got some time yet.
Yeah. Okay, because you remember from last time, Bernie Sanders.
Who?
That says it all.
Yes. Well, it's one. If Pete is next race, Bernie's last race.
Yes, yeah, I would think. All right, this is the last one. Elizabeth Warren. She's got a plan for that.
She's got a plan for that. That's a great one. I've been thinking about that, and the answer to the question is surprise. I'm surprised that she is doing as well as she's doing. Surprised she's still in the fight, but as long as she and Bernie are splitting that vote,
And that's the issue. Yeah,
that's
they
the
are,
kill.
they're splitting it.
If there was just one of them,
Yeah.
if there was
You'd have more
Bernie,
legs.
if it was Bernie
And then-
Warren, he'd be winning.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Let's get
Or
to
second, actually.
Yeah, let's get to the last one. He's been around for, like you say, for a while. Joe Biden.
Joe Biden, everyone's first choice.
Now, tell me what you think of this. I was thinking, because so many people running for the Democratic nomination, shouldn't we do it like brackets?
No.
No? Why not?
No, because ultimately this is the time when everyone competes on a playing field that's supposed to be even, despite the fact that Biden is 25, 30 points ahead.
Right.
In the end, this is going to come down to two people. It'll come down to Biden and someone.
Someone.
It always comes down to two candidates.
Yeah.
And who the second person is going to be is what this game is all about. I think that the Democrats have tried very hard to be fair. With respect, a guy like Seth Moulton, who has 0% of the vote, zero, can't be expected to be on the same stage as Elizabeth Warren or as Kamala Harris or some of the other people who are even in single digits. You got to have at least a digit. You ought to have a digit.
So what does qualify him? It have to be a digit, or is it money?
You have to have raised for the first debate.
money.
It's money, and it's and it is, I think, 1 point in name recognition. I think is the
Yeah, 1
second
point,
criteria, and he's not at either one yet. He's one of the 3 candidates who's doesn't have either
Well,
one.
what's interesting, I think when Pete gets in, he's a veteran too, and people realize, I think Seth was kind of going on the veteran kind of thing. Then when Pete gets in there, it's
Well, again, the problem is that, Pete's a veteran, and Eric Swalwell is in the House, and, there are, younger candidates who are running, the Congresswoman from Hawaii.
Yes,
who's,
oh, yeah.
It's not on our
yeah,
list.
that's off the list. But
She has 0
yeah,
also,
that's
but the
right.
point is that there's no clear lane for Seth Moulton.
Right, yeah.
There's a clear lane for Joe Biden. Name recognition, been around for a while. Democrats who want to beat Trump are obsessed with the idea of putting somebody in who beats Trump.
Right.
So that's a lane. Elizabeth Warren, Kamala Harris, early on, Klobuchar, although she unfortunately got killed right at the start with the incident over the comb.
Right, yeah,
And
exactly.
she never,
Yeah.
I like to tell stories that aggrandize myself and make myself look brilliant. I had early on predicted that Klobuchar would be the one making them. She died before she even got out of the
Something
gate.
happens, yeah, and it can be the littlest thing like that. It's like
it
the way the
takes you
press
out.
can
Absolutely.
treat it.
People
Yeah.
get beat. And similarly, everyone thought that Buttigieg, with his funny name and being gay
right.
and being the mayor of a
Wouldn't
tiny
have a
town,
chance in hell.
would be like if Gary Christensen endorsed ran for mayor.
Oh, jeez.
But I love a host that says, "Be sure to shut off your phone."
Okay, so I forgot to shut mine off. Thank you all for paying
Good,
attention,
good,
everyone.
good.
Yeah. No,
But Buttigieg, a great example. Buttigieg, he's turned it around. He took took his disadvantage and made them
Made it something.
advantages,
Really did.
and that's what good candidates do.
and it's
again,
great. I think the other thing, that he was able to make comments that people see that, oh my God, he just said that. And
but more than what he's done is he's touched a core with a group of people, Democrats, who say he's really smart.
it's something
And
to
he
watch.
doesn't sound
Right.
prepackaged, and that's what's killed Beto O'Rourke. He started with all of this momentum.
And the
went
look.
down and the look,
And
and
the
he was, actually, I had the opportunity to. I never met Bobby Kennedy personally, although I was pretty close to. I did
The campaign,
his son,
yeah.
Joe's campaign.
yeah.
I did
know you worked at
the
Joe.
the father, not the one who's there now.
Yeah.
Good show. We
Yeah.
are. But I did get to see him, and I'm taken aback by people who think that Beto O'Rourke it looks like him, because
Yeah,
Bobby Kennedy was much shorter, but it's
What's the hair in the teeth?
the hair in the teeth,
Yes,
the
that's-
hair in the
yeah,
teeth.
no, that's like-
But
you
you
jump
got
to conclusions.
you got to have more than hair and teeth.
Yeah.
And plus, to be honest, Ron, one of the great strengths of Beto O'Rourke running in Texas is that he was a moderate conservative Democrat running in a state that was conservative. So for a Democrat, that was almost like
Right.
a miracle.
Yeah.
But when he gets out in a playing field, which is much larger, Democrats aren't moderate conservatives. They are progressive. They are.
So do you think maybe
liberal.
he should have ran for Senate?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
But
Made a mistake.
and
'Cause we need the Senate. It's not that
ego
about
is an extraordinary thing in politics.
I know.
Since we don't
Yeah,
have one,
no,
we
you
don't,
know,
we don't
like,
know about that.
Like I have my own TV show.
Yeah,
I have
that's
no
right,
ego.
That's
I
right.
have no ego.
No, but again, that's exactly the right thing to say. Is levels of ego are different, and for most of us, the idea that we put ourselves in harm's way. You made a joke about the Iowa State Fair. Man, I've been to 7 Iowa State Fairs. It is
Poor guy.
like God awful if you come from Malden to be
Hey,
at the
I
Iowa
can't
State
imagine.
Fair.
Oh no.
You know,
Tuftsville's as
there's a-
close as I'm going to
let-
get to it.
Let me just say, we know what, if you go to the fair, you know what Malden smelled like at the turn of the century.
That's true.
But it's a totally different world, and Iowa, in particular, the first time you go there, very quickly, the first time you go there is you fly out of Chicago and you're in a big plane and you're in a little tiny plane and you go into Des Moines, and Des Moines is about 1.5 miles, the airport from downtown. It takes you 25 minutes to get there because these people slow down at yellow lights. You can bang on that phone, and
that all about?
I know I couldn't believe it.
That's your
The
challenge.
whole point.
That's
the whole
the
point.
challenge.
But what's interesting about the place, and what's interesting is a lot of Iowa remains what we think, you and I think, of 1950s
Right.
America.
That
That
like-
mom and pop, Ottumwa, Iowa, hasn't changed that much. It's still that little town, and it's hard for people here to visualize what it's like. You know, you're driving along, and every car, every truck has a gun rack, so you can shoot the. You know, it's and you're running from here, trying to make them say, do you understand? Do you care? And will you do anything for me? How much do you know about ethanol and corn?
Yeah, I know.
You know, it's a tough business.
I love corn, though.
Yes, we do.
Well, all right, so let's a little bit about the Republican side.
Yep.
Bill Weld.
Bill Weld.
What is he thinking?
What he's thinking is he's had nothing to do for a while, and he's really a libertarian, not a Republican.
Well, I think
and there's a universe of people inside of the Republican Party, and all you have to do is watch either CNN or MSNBC to know who they are. Right. These people have no home anymore. They see the Trump Republican Party as a repudiation of Reaganism, let alone you know Eisenhower and Nixon. The people we had here wouldn't even recognize the party now. And for Weld, he sees himself having an opportunity in this stage in his career to just have some fun. Yeah. And you know what? Good for him.
Good for him,
because you know what? If Trump's never going to go on a stage with him.
So that's what I was wondering.
But he will not do that. However, he will be able to push back against Trump, and that doesn't hurt the Democrats to have him not run clean. Right. So I'm happy someone did it. I thought Kasich would be a better shot.
Yeah,
or Hogan, the governor.
And who's this? Marsh? Is that how you say his name? The fellow that criticized Trump. Marsh?
Oh, Marsh. Oh, he's the congressman.
Yeah, right, the congressman.
Well, he's a libertarian too.
Yeah.
But the one that I thought would be interesting was Frank Hogan from Maryland, the governor. You know, and but it's hard to go out there and dedicate months of your life and be away from your wife and kids when you know that in the end he's going to be the Republican.
Yeah, I know.
Nominee.
It's tough. Yeah, because it's not easy running. Let's face it.
No, it's not.
It costs money, and who likes to get money and try to squeeze it up with 25 candidates running from. Is any money left?
People think that the life that you lead on the trail is exciting. Yeah. You start off in the morning and you're in Minnesota in one time zone. You go to Texas, then you go back, cut across the country. You end up you can do 4 time zones in one day.
You watch the show Veep?
I am not a Veep watcher, but my daughters are pathological Veep watchers. It is fantastic. She really captures the whole primary thing and everybody running the crap they have to go through. No, it was a riot. She's very talented, and it's only a matter of my not being home enough to be able to be dedicated.
Well, you can watch TV now on your own time now.
You're kidding me. How do you do that?
It's amazing. Mike, I got to tell you, thank you so much for coming by.
It's our pleasure.
We could spend the whole hour talking because I want to have you back when we get closer to the primaries.
I promise.
We're doing actually 2 this year because of the race, the mayoral race. We're going to do 2 forums, 1 forum, 1 debate.
Oh, great.
So we thought we'd kind of do one as a forum, one as a debate towards the end, and of course we'll do a council at large just because, hey, we need to. That's what we're about.
It's doing what this station should be doing, which is public service.
Exactly. I appreciate
really
it.
Great.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Michael Goldman.
Thank
you so much, Mike.
Thank you.
All right, stay right there. All right, as I mentioned, we had a rapper, and he hasn't think he's
It wasn't me?
No, it wasn't you.
Damn.
You could have been great.
Damn.
But so what we're going to do is we're going to our archives, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to find a band that's been here before. The last time they were here is November of last year, I think. And they're a great band, and we actually recorded them. So we're going to pretend, ladies and gentlemen, that they just showed up with their instruments, and they're going to play for us right now. Ladies and gentlemen, the Cast Irons.
Baby, something's wrong here. I hear it in our voices. Smearing the coffee, yeah. Baby, something's wrong. Baby, something's wrong in silence is the dreamer. We give to one another. Yeah, there's something's wrong. Step on your toes, right on my cage. When I pull you in so tight, you give me a fever. Makes me wanna never say no. No, no, no. No. Baby, something's wrong. Silence is the dreamer. We keep to one another. Yeah, there's something's wrong. You step on your toes. You're right in my cage. When I pull you in so tight, you give me fever. Makes me wanna never say no. No, 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 no. Change how for me it was too much to bear. Please, my heart hesitates. He was breaking into. He was breaking into. Baby, it's alright now. We're healing every day. I'm smiling when I think of your face. Yeah, there's nothing wrong anymore. Step on your toes, right on my cage. But when I pull you in so tight, you give me fever. Makes me wanna never say no. No, no, no.
Let's hear it. Cast Irons. Oh, my goodness. Gosh, it was like they were really here. It was unbelievable. I want to thank them for coming by that November day. And by the way, for those who are watching the show, the rap artist has shown up, and his name is Nick, 24K. He'll be up a little bit later. But right now, I want you to meet this incredible author. The name of the book is Hat Tricks from Heaven, and it is an incredible kind of a memoir of what had happened to her son and the unfortunate story of the prison of addiction. And it's an incredible book. And what someone had talked about how Kate has laid her heart wide open in this memoir: joy, excitement, pain, guilt, pride, and devastation. Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the author of this book, Kate Genovese. Kate, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Let's hear it. Yes, baby, you can clap. And our friend Tim.
Tim.
Friend of the family.
Nice to meet you.
And you've known Gio?
Since we were 5 years old.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's talk about the book, because I didn't quite finish it because it's so touching, and I didn't want to rush it. But what's very clear is this is just a typical ordinary kid, played hockey, great college life, high school life, college life, and then injury after injury, and it took its toll. And of course, getting involved with the opioids to stop the pain, and it led to a sad thing.
Yeah, his addiction. On the way over here, Tim was, because they were so close, he probably knows some more than I know, but he said, Gino really had pain. I mean, his pain was real. He wasn't faking it. And that's the difference kind of with, we didn't think he had an addiction at first because the pain was so bad, and so he was on the oxys, Percocets, and then he went on to oxys.
Right.
And then he stopped for a while when he got out of college, but he still had some pain.
Now, did he stop on his own, or did he get help?
He went to counseling. He did not go to a rehab or anything. He ended up getting a really good job out of college.
Right.
And he had a girlfriend, and so for, I'd say, 6 years, he might have done a lot better, but he didn't live with us, so I don't know.
Right, so you don't know.
Yeah.
Because he was away. So, again, I think one of the reasons you wrote this book is maybe share the things you did notice or that you found out later, some of the things that you felt could have been helpful that you found out afterwards. Talk a little bit about that and what your goal was.
That's what I mainly wanted to write the book, to help other people, because I think everybody needs to educate themselves about this illness, because it is a disease. Right. And a lot of people aren't doing that, and they're not talking about it with their children. And I think the educating in the school system, that's where it begins. The teachers, the principal have things going on about addiction, have people going into the schools and talking. I've been to some schools and talked to kids, and I think that's one of the most important things, the awareness. And I was a school nurse for a while, and to pick up on the high-risk kids.
Right.
I had a lot of kids come into my classroom, like, what's wrong? Something's wrong, and they're coming in for no reason.
Right.
I'm like, what's their family like?
So that's one of the things to look for, kids at risk, kids that maybe aren't socializing with others, things like that.
Yeah, they're getting into trouble, so you want to kind of put them on the list and talk about them in a nice way. Talk to the parents if you can, things like that. With Gino, it really started, he did so well in hockey, and he got a scholarship to a private high school, and he was gung-ho, and right away he got injured in his knee, because he decided to play football too.
Oh, really?
So that was his first injury.
John Hanna was his coach,
Oh, John Hanna was his coach. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, that's right.
Well, let's talk a little about you. He was your best friend?
Oh, yeah, best man at my wedding, wingman, and,
So you played hockey?
No. Vicariously through Gino.
Yeah. Weren't as good as he, I guess.
Oh no, he was a stud. He was that all-American boy. All the girls wanted to be, all the boys wanted to be him. All the girls wanted to be with him. He was just, one heck of an athlete. But he was even, an even better person. He was that type of kid that could probably pulverize anybody, but he was the most gentle person in the world.
That's the sad part. You see through this kid, what a typical kid he was, and had so much promise, and it's got to be the toughest thing. In terms of his best friend, were you aware of any of this stuff?
Oh yeah.
Did you try to talk to him?
Yeah, I mean, the thing with me and Gino that I think was so special is that, there was no BS,
Yeah.
Well, there was a lot of BS, but it was, hey, Gino, come on,
I know.
shoot it straight.
Snap at it.
And, I think the hardest thing with most addicts is the judgment, that they go through. So, I mean, I remember, come on, Kate, you got me out here now. You're tearing up. But I remember the day he showed up on my doorstep. His other friend had overdosed. Didn't know where to go, didn't know what to do.
Right.
And you're in a prison, you know.
Right.
So, and a family like the Genoveses, not to cut you off,
Yeah.
you know, an amazing, amazing family.
Yeah.
You know, the support system, everything was there, and it just, you know, with these opioids, once it gets you, you know, it gets you, you know, that one slip
We've
up.
got a TV show here done by Paul Hammersley. I don't know if you know, the Overcoming Addiction is a group here in Malden. And
I have heard of it.
It's called Malden Overcoming Addiction, MOA. And Paul does a great job. He himself has overcome addiction himself. He's been clean now, I think, for at least 15 years or so. But he's kind of led this program and really helps for people who have no idea what to do. And he kind of, his job, or he feels his job, is to bring awareness to the situation, overcoming that, like you mentioned, addiction is a disease, and people, you know, make judgments.
Yeah.
And he's saying, no, this is nothing to make judgments on. This is a disease, and these kids need help.
I do know him. He also is a member of MORE, Mass Organization of Addiction Recovery. Yes. So I met him through there. They're building in Malden. They're building a halfway house, like a big halfway house.
He's behind.
He's behind that. Yes. So now I know who he is. I do.
No, he's a great guy. He does a great show, and he has various members come on his show. They're either parents or addictions, people who have addiction, they're fighting it and overcoming it.
Yeah.
And that's the whole key to get help. And,
yeah.
And, you know, like you say, you know, you got your friends and you try to get to them. It's got to be the toughest thing.
Yeah, you know what I mean, and you burn a lot of bridges, and you know the thing with Gino and I, there was nothing, you know, he could ever do, you know, in his pursuit of getting high that would ever, you know, put up that wall. You know,
exactly.
you have to, and I think that's my biggest advice to anybody that has a friend or a loved one is you got to see past that. You know, that's not the person. It's,
exactly.
You know, at that point, it's like, you know, you have the drug addict and then the person, and you know, you just really have to look past that. You know.
And look at it as a disease. You know, if somebody has some kind of disease, you don't run away. You stay close to sometimes for that.
Absolutely.
But well, I gotta appreciate you coming by. In terms of it's a great book. It is really ending the stigma. I think that's the key part to this, and it's well worth reading. And I'm almost done. And it's got pictures in it too to kind of really connect with the family.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, and also, you know, in it, I get a lot of emails from parents because you feel guilty when you make mistakes. Like he would be out of drugs, but he'd be so sick and he'd be on a waiting list to get into a rehab. And he was so sick, I went with him to Worcester. I drove him there so he wouldn't be sick and got drugs. And thinking of that, I could have gotten caught. I could have lost my nursing license. I mean, you get as sick as they do. So that's important not to fall for that, you know, to be tough when you have to be tough. Leave the house. Don't let them bother you. You know, and learn how to do that.
Well, again, all that's in this book, and I appreciate you sharing this. This is an important thing. Tim, I want to thank you too for coming on board.
And I just want to say one thing. I mean, Katie truly just laid it all out, and that, you know, I think that can help more people in more ways. You know, not just drugs or, you know, alcohol, but there's just so many synergies between that and life. You know. That's
great. Katie, how can people get a hold of this book? Look right in that camera, tell them.
Oh, okay. You can go to my website, which is kategenovesebooks.com. It has some couple of links. You can go to Amazon, or you can just go to Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And they're in bookstores. If it's not there, they'll order it, or I'll get you one. You can email me through my website.
All right, guys, thank you so much for coming.
Thank
Ladies and gentlemen, Kate Genovese and Tim.
Thank you very much.
Name?
Can I throw another plug in
yes,
for
you
it?
can.
And I'm sure Ron would help you out. You know, reach out directly to Ron. If no, I'm just kidding.
Well, again, I want to thank you for coming by. Okay, we got a rap artist coming on, and right now I want to go to a roll and see which one do I want to. All Seasons Table had a fire recently, and my friend Brad, is it Brad Tron? Doug Tron, runs this great restaurant, and we made a little video. Hopefully we can go to that, and we'll come back with our rap artist.
I'm Osa Schwab here with Douglas Tran, owner of All Seasons Restaurant. We're here to talk about the recent fire that took place here at the restaurant and want to find out a little bit about the details and the aftermath. Tell us what happened.
Well, I was like around 3 o'clock in the morning on March 7. I got a phone call from my manager saying that there's a fire upstairs from the tenants. So we came, and then all the water is all everywhere because it's a fire truck, all outside. The next day, we have to shut down because we did very quickly fix the other side, change all the track light, and then we be able to open on Friday night. We got lucky.
So you had a nice transitional plan because you could use the next space over.
Yes, it usually is for the function, yeah.
How long did the redesign take?
Well, almost 2 months. Actually, we started right away on the week after that to get everybody going. And good thing I have a lot of good friends that work construction and then painting, all other stuff. And they help out a lot, yeah. So that's why we be able to reopen quick, like less than 2 months. Our business relied on the weekend. Friday and Saturday is a lot of function, a lot of family parties, and once we shut down the old dining room, which is 140 seats, and for almost 2 months, so we dropped a lot of business. Yeah, so that is the downside. Yeah, and the positive side, now the place looks better. So a lot of support with all friends and all customers too. Yeah.
So the takeaway is have a lot of good friends and be resilient.
Right.
Well, I think the place looks great, and I love the red.
Thank you so much. So I changed the floor, get all the tabletop, redo all the furniture.
Any last words, Douglas?
Well, I hope everybody come on down and visit All Season Table, and thank you for all your support. And the address is 64 Pleasant Street, Malden, right in downtown. Malden.
I'm gonna come. I hope you will too.
Freshman husband.
Yes, Doug Tron, incredible guy, and boy, in 2 months he had that whole thing rebuilt, and the fire actually started upstairs in the apartment building above Old Season's Table, and what happened was the water to put it out came raining down on the restaurant, and you saw some of the damage there. But he's one of the first guys who took a chance in Malden, and I got to hand it for Doug for hanging in there and making not only All Season's Table a great restaurant, but the DK Kitchen, which is down on the corner of Route 60 and Commercial. All right, Florence, around that corner. All right, he's made it here, folks. Let's get to him real quick. Where are you from?
Boston.
From Boston, Massachusetts. Here he is, Nick, 24K. Take it away, Nick.
Yo. Yeah. I got the same swag, but I got new drip. I got the same swag, but I got a new drip. Yeah. I got the same swag, but I got a new drip. I got the same swag, but I got a new drip. Fourth quarter, yeah, I'm in the paint, yeah, I run the laps like I run the class. I'm clocking out, I'ma be about what I said, then I'ma finish it. Freshman, yeah, I was a new kid. VA on the top floor, now I'm packing up in the film lab. Yeah, my life, yeah, I always been a move. Try keeping up with my papers, ain't worried about no hater. Them essays be like 20 deep, but I'm back in, I'm on the road. Gotta finish school, I be breaking rules, now I'm making moves, gotta go again. I got some enemies lurking, yeah, I got some enemies lurking. 24K, he been that guy, yeah, you know I'm the general. Breaking the laws, you know I'm a shoot. I don't got time for the federals. Back and forth in them hallways, I still pray for them better days. I be working hard like a bodyguard, I'm a rap guy, still rep the squad. I be cooking beats in the cap, freestyling off the top. Popping bottles, I be popping models, going on and on like a monologue. Yeah, my theater majors know what's up, making moves like a dancer. Shout out all the vocal majors and the instrumentalists, you gon' really need a therapist. Throw my wrist from the threes, you know how I be. Still repping for the bean, everybody knows the team. Counting the green, BAA been the scene. Now I'm back up on the screen, but I'm still hustling, yeah. But I'm still hustling, yeah. I'm still hustling, yeah. Cause I got the same swag, but I got a new drip. I got the same swag, but I got a new drip, yeah. I got the same swag, but I got a new drip. I got the same swag, but I got a new drip. I got a new drip and I'm on, yeah. I got a new drip and I'm gone, yeah. Yeah, look, everybody sees I'm doing it, making moves, I'm pursuing it. Everybody sees I'm doing it, making moves, I'm pursuing it. Cause I got the same swag, but I got a new drip, yeah, yeah. I got the same swag, but I got a new drip, yeah, yeah. I got the same swag, but I got a new drip. I got the same swag, but I got a new drip. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Just wait for it, man. You made it. So where are you from? Boston, you mentioned?
Yeah, Boston, Roxbury.
Roxbury?
Yeah.
And so how long have you been doing this?
So this, oh, my fault. Yeah. So I started this like my freshman year of high school. You know, I go to Boston Arts Academy, so I came in there as like an actor. You know what I'm saying? But like the music, like I never got into it until like, you know, like I can't, cause our art school is different from like a normal school.
Yeah,
you know
right.
what I'm saying? Like we have like, you know, music. So in the cafeteria, it's
so
like
that's all encouraged.
yeah. So like in the cafeteria, we'll have like people like a live band. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like what
great.
school got a live
right.
band
I know,
in
that's awesome.
their cafeteria? And like I remember I was just talking to like, you know, other people. We didn't have like, we'll have like people like play like, you know, drums, and somebody would sing, but nobody would really rap or nothing.
Right.
And then I remember like, you know, like in the back tables, like the kids used to like bang on the tables and
you got a beat going and
you got a
alpha
beat
colors.
and nobody's rapping. So I
So you
took
took
it
it
upon
on.
me. Yeah, I took it on. I was like,
That's
yeah.
great.
And then
So let's talk about that. So, you know, rapping music, the words are very important.
Yeah.
You kind of flow. And
Yeah.
how, does that come easy to you?
I mean, like at the beginning, like when I first started rapping to get better, I rap with like no beat. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to learn how to like articulate. You got to learn how to be on point, flow, everything. And like that's where I started. And then because it went from like to now I'm just now I hear
You got any
instrumental.
influences? Who do you? Influences.
Like I look up to people like, you know, like Hobson, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of artists that like, you know, because there's a lot of artists in the game right now, but you know like Nipsey Hussle, you know what I'm saying? People that bring change, you know, like because anybody can hop on a beat, do whatever they want, but it's like someone that's gonna change the game, that's gonna influence, that's gonna motivate people.
You're trying to also change minds.
Yeah.
You're saying something, but you want people to really get engaged.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, we ran out of time. I wish you got here earlier, but you got to be on again. We'll
Yeah.
get more songs. All right, man?
Yeah, of course,
All right.
of course, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Nick, 24K.
24K.
This guy's going someplace.
Yeah, thank
All
you.
right. I want again, we're running out of time. I want to thank everyone for coming in and watching the show. It's always great to have an audience. I want to thank Michael Goldman's here for Michael Goldman. And again, a incredible story from Kate Genovese with a lot of passion. She's has made a lot lost in her life, but she's trying to make something good come out of it. And try to check out this book. And again, of course, I want to thank Nick 24K. Unbelievable, he's in the house. So again, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Live on Tape. And I think we're running out of time. Are we okay? See you later, everybody. Bye-bye.